It's confirmed, folks. And when I say confirmed, I mean multiple huge updates just dropped, including a brand new report surrounding Andrew Wiggins and Rob Pelinka, and the Lakers' pursuit of one of the top wings in the league. Today, we're going to break down all of these new reports, discuss what it could mean moving forward, and I'll even touch on some intriguing updates surrounding Luka Doncic, because, let's be honest, this offseason has been absolutely electric for him, and there's a ton to unpack. But before we jump in, quick reminder, if you're part of that percentage who aren't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You guys have been absolutely incredible supporting the channel, and it's honestly been wild to see how much engagement we've had over the past few weeks. I really appreciate it. Now, let's get into the real story, because the #1 talking point right now has been, hands down, the Lakers and a potential trade involving Andrew Wiggins. So, here's the latest. Over the past few days and weeks, there's been non-stop chatter about the Lakers possibly moving for Wiggins. Names have floated around, trade scenarios have been speculated, and analysts like Mark Stein and Dan Wyke have been dropping hints and updates for some time now. And today, for the first time, we've gotten that official confirmation. Yes, the Heat and Lakers are actively engaged in trade talks for Andrew Wiggins. That's right, they're not just talking hypotheticals anymore. These discussions are live, and if a deal is going to happen, it could be as soon as this week. Now, the language in the reports is really key here. We've known for a while that the Lakers were exploring options, but nothing ever fully materialized, partly because the Lakers were hesitant to give up their first-round pick. But according to the new reports, this is a situation that's evolving, especially if the Heat are open to negotiation and maybe adjusting their asking price. And when you look at it from the Lakers' perspective, it makes total sense. The market's quiet right now, no one is making massive splashes, and if they want to land a player of Wiggins' caliber, this is the perfect opportunity to strike. And here's the thing about Wiggins. Putting him on this team transforms them immediately. I saw a quote that perfectly sums it up. He'll be guarded by the fourth best defender every night, playing alongside 3 elite playmakers, and the odds of this combination failing are incredibly low. Wiggins doesn't just make the Lakers better, he pushes them into true championship contender territory. They're already a strong team, no question, but adding him to the mix changes the conversation entirely. It's not hyperbole to say that he makes this roster a legitimate title threat. On top of that, we're seeing other trade chatter circulate, like 3-team trade pitches involving the Nets, Mavericks, and Luka Doncic's preferred lob target. Now, this isn't directly connected to Wiggins, but it highlights just how active this market is and how the Lakers are evaluating every possible angle to improve. We've even seen Daniel Gafford's name come up repeatedly. While Gafford is a solid player and could add value, the reports make it clear he's not the solution. Wiggins is the missing piece. He's the player who actually moves the needle for this roster, and that's what makes this news so significant. Honestly, when you step back and look at the bigger picture, the Lakers' approach is classic Rob Pelinka: quiet, calculated, and precise. He doesn't make noise for the sake of it. He works behind the scenes, and when something finally pops up, you know it's the real deal. This isn't speculation or a rumor mill, it's official. And for Lakers fans, it's an incredibly exciting time because it could change the trajectory of this team's season almost immediately. All right, let's dive a little deeper into the trade chatter surrounding Andrew Wiggins, because, honestly, this is where things get really interesting. The latest reports are suggesting that the Heat are eyeing some serious compensation if they're going to even consider moving Wiggins, and it makes total sense. Right now, we're talking about the Lakers potentially giving up their 2031 first-round pick. That's not a small thing, and from what I've seen, the Lakers are very protective of their draft assets. They don't want to just hand that over for a big man, or really for anyone who doesn't move the needle in a major way. But Andrew Wiggins? That's a different story. That's a player who could transform your roster immediately. Now, looking at the reported package, the Heat's asking price seems to include Dalton Connect, plus that 2031 first-round pick. And at the moment, the Lakers aren't fully on board with that, at least publicly, because it's a high price. Their draft capital is already limited, and they have to be careful. But here's the thing. If you really think about the Lakers roster and what Wiggins brings, I'm firmly in the camp of trade the pick if necessary. If they can get him, it probably should have been done months ago. And when you step back and look at the Western Conference right now, the timing actually makes a lot of sense. The offseason has been relatively quiet. Not many teams have made huge moves, so if the Lakers want to push to the top, now's the perfect opportunity. Honestly, there aren't many other additions out there that drastically improve a team at the level that Wiggins does. Yeah, there's talk of guys like Daniel Gafford, Quentin Grimes, and other solid pieces. But let's be real, they're not going to move the needle in the same way. Wiggins is the game changer here, the player who could instantly elevate this team into true championship contention. Let's talk about Wiggins' value for a second. Last year with the Heat, in 17 games, he averaged 19 points per contest. Now, we're not expecting him to drop 19 every night. He's not going to be the primary scorer. But those numbers show what he's capable of. And if you go back a few seasons, during his time with the Warriors in 2021 to 2022, he was an absolute force. A starter, a key defender, a complementary piece on a championship team. Steve Kerr even highlighted him as one of the most important players outside of the core stars like Steph Curry and Draymond Green. That says a lot about the kind of player he is. He knows how to win, he knows how to play within a system, and he's versatile enough to fill whatever role is needed. And here's another point that doesn't get talked about enough. The Lakers' current roster has an embarrassment of offensive riches. You've got LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Luka. Those three will take the majority of scoring attention. Wiggins doesn't need to be the focal point offensively. He can do his job on both ends, and because of that, he's extremely valuable. He can focus on defense, cover top-tier players night in and night out, and still contribute offensively when needed. That's a rare combination. He's not just a scorer or just a defender. He's the full package, someone who can make the other stars around him better without dominating the ball himself. Finally, before we pivot to Luka Doncic, I want to touch on the broader picture here. The Lakers' front office has been strategic all off-season. Every move, every potential trade, every name thrown around, it's calculated. Wiggins is the target, not Gafford, not Grimes, not anyone else. If they're giving up assets, it's for a player who changes the trajectory of the team. And that's why this news is so significant. These talks are real, they're serious, and the Lakers are in a position to make a major move. Now, switching gears slightly, let's talk about Luka Doncic because he's had a phenomenal offseason. One of the biggest storylines has been his conditioning. He just wrapped up the Eurobasket tournament and absolutely dominated, showing a level of fitness and agility that's noticeably improved from last year. Reports and interviews, like the one with Jason Gay from the Wall Street Journal, confirm that Doncic completely revamped his off-season regimen. For the first time, he took a month completely off from playing basketball. Instead, he focused purely on training, fitness, and even incorporated paddle tennis to stay sharp and agile. This is a different level of commitment, and it's something that's clearly paying off. The takeaway here is clear. The Lakers are quietly positioning themselves for big moves. Wiggins could be the centerpiece, and players like Doncic are elevating their games to a whole new level. This offseason is far from over, and there's still a lot to monitor. All right, so let's wrap this up with Luka Doncic, because his offseason story is absolutely wild and really gives us a sense of how dedicated he's been. So basically, for an entire month, he didn't touch a basketball. No games, no shooting, no scrimmaging, nothing. And honestly, it didn't hurt him one bit. In fact, it looks like it may have done the opposite. He came back completely refreshed and dominated in Eurobasket. Now, obviously, that's not the NBA. The level of competition is different. The athleticism, the size, 5 guys who are 6'10", small forward beasts, those guys are everywhere in the NBA. But still, watching Doncic in Eurobasket, you can see that he's in incredible shape. He's stronger, more explosive, and just moves better. From what I've read and seen in the reports, his off-season regimen was no joke. Resistance band training, heavy deadlifts, dumbbell, all the conditioning drill. He was focused on everything. And Jason Gay from the Wall Street Journal described this summer as the start of what he calls the revenge tour. Now, obviously, that's a little tongue-in-cheek, maybe aimed at critics like Nico Harrison who have questioned his conditioning in the past, but you can't deny the results. This is a man on a mission, and you can feel it in how he plays. And let's be real here, he's poised for a monster season. Probably LeBron's last year in Los Angeles, maybe. Who knows what happens beyond this season, but right now, the Lakers are set up for a big push. And this all ties right back into Andrew Wiggins. If you ask me, the Lakers have to go for it. Trade that pick, move whatever they need to, because it's confirmed they are actively in trade talks. The conversations are real, and the stakes are high. Wiggins isn't just another player. He's a legitimate difference maker, someone who instantly makes the Lakers a contender at the highest level. So, in summary, the Lakers are quietly but strategically positioning themselves. Wiggins could be the missing piece to elevate this team into true championship contention, while Doncic is coming into the season stronger, faster, and sharper than ever. The pieces are aligning, and the Lakers are making moves behind the scenes that we'll likely see play out in a major way very soon. The offseason may be quiet on the surface, but trust me, the action is happening. And this could be one of the most pivotal moves we've seen all year.